Okay guys, welcome back. This is your old pal Hondo doing another video for you on how to replace the string trimmer head on an Echo string trimmer. This will work pretty much on every Echo string trimmer out on the market with two popular heads. If your old Echo string trimmer head is commissioned or the cap wears off or something breaks on it, you can buy just the head itself. You don't need to buy the universal kit to replace it, and we'll show you how to put this on and take it off, and show you an alternative that you guys can use on the Echo string trimmers as well, which are these T25 heads. And you can do this with the rapid replace heads as well if you buy the whole universal kit. Right here's the T25 universal kit, guys. Comes with all the brackets and stuff like that. I'll show you guys how to take it apart, but you won't need to do that by taking this apart and taking out the adapters for this. Nor will you have to do it with this if you just buy the head for the Echo string trimmer. But you will need to take out the adapters for these only if you're putting this on a steel string trimmer or another like curve shaft string trimmer. But in your packs you'll usually get, like, again, another honorable mention for a string trimmer head that you could replace with your Echo speed feed heads. Another honorable mention for a string trimmer head that you could put on your Echo string trimmers is the echomatic string trimmer heads. They're great. In your universal T25 kits, you get these two adapters right here. One is for steel and the other one's for curve shaft for your T25 Husqvarna string trimmer heads. If you don't want to get the echomatic head to replace the Echo speed feed head on the Echo, you can go with this. This will work 100% without having to remove the threaded adapters out of it. Okay, now that's out of the way. The tools you'll need is a flathead screwdriver like this big. If you're doing this on a steel, you'll have to take this apart in order to remove the washer adapter, whatever you call it. And you got this here too. This will work if you're putting this on another string trimmer, the Echo speed feed head on another string trimmer. You also could use a wooden spoon as like a dowel to get that out. If you wanted to take it apart and take that out, the adapter out of this one, to change it out for a different model, you don't need to change the adapter in the Echo speed feed heads for your Echo string trimmers. You only have to do that with the I believe the steel and I think RYOBI and Homelight string trimmers. We're gonna take this apart, show you guys how to take apart the head. You want to remove the adapter from these. You'll have to basically grab a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver of some sort, pop the head off like this and remove the head, and then change out the adapter, you know, after taking the spring off, and then put a new adapter in here like this, and then putting the head back on to change the adapter what fits whatever string trimmer you're putting this on. In order to get this back on, we're gonna have to hold this and move the spoon out of the way, slap it back on there, and it goes right on there, guys. And that's how you remove the adapters off the T25 heads. It's different with the Echo string trimmer heads. You have to take it apart. Show you how to do it on the Echo. You know, you gotta take this little back plate off. Make sure you just move it somewhere else. I'm at a precarious angle here, and you gotta basically remove the spool, which can be a pain in the butt. And this one's kind of old and doesn't want to come out quite right. You take out the spool. Now, mind you, if you guys are putting this on a this is how it sits on the head, like this. If you're putting this on a putting this head on a steel string trimmer, there's right to left right here, it says R. If this is facing down, that means you can put this in pretty much any straight shaft. If you guys want to put this on a curve shaft, that L, this right here, this side has to be sitting on L when you put the spool back in for a curve shaft. So if you want to have this sitting on the out too, to change out the adapters, You just push it out. You take that wooden spoon as a dowel, push it out, and then replace it either with the green adapter or the silver adapter with these Echo speed feed heads when you're replacing them in a different unit like a STIHL or a RYOBI or a Home Light, or you know, you got to put the fixtures in there that goes to whatever string trimmer model it goes to, and you got to put that little nut back in there. I'm having really hard issues getting it back in there properly, and there it goes. You use that little wooden dowel to push it back in. And I think a lot of guys are having trouble with these, with the spool. With the spool, it has this little L spot right here. It says L and R. If the R is facing down, that is, if you see the L on the spool, you have to face it down if you got a straight shaft. If you got the R, it's got to be facing down for a curved shaft. So if you're putting this on a straight shaft string trimmer and you got the R facing up like that with the L, it's going to cause you having line issues on a straight shaft. So put that L facing down on the spool where the thread goes, and put the R in reverse for your curved shaft string trimmers, and then you should be okay with that and not having any fitting issues with the speed feed head 400, guys. I'm having so many issues with the speed feed head, guys. Now we're going to get into the installing portion of installing the T25 head on the Echo string trimmer, and uninstalling and reinstalling this as well. Both options for your Echo speed feed head if you want to get a new Echo speed feed head to put on your string trimmer, and put your new T25 head if you want to go with the T25 head or the echomatic route. This is pretty much how you do it with these two string trimmer heads. Okay guys, we're at that portion of the video of how to remove your string trimmer head off your Echo string trimmer. This will work pretty much on every Echo string trimmer out on the market. The that you guys will need is a small little skinny screwdriver or an Allen key, or maybe even a thick roofing nail. And right here on the string trimmer, there's a little spot where you have to lock the head in place. Now remember, taking off one of these older string trimmer heads, it might be seized on the adapter in the string trimmer head, so you'll have to pull off the cap and spray that little adapter down after you pull the spool out of the Echo speed feed head 400 on your Echo, and spray it with some WD-40 to get this off. I've already pre-done this, so I don't have to do that, but you may have to take the cap off to take and spray some WD-40 on that adapter. We're going to get into showing you how to remove it to install the T25 head that we showed you earlier in the video. The unit upside down sometimes because it's easier. You want to stick this key in here. Can't really see it unless you feel it. It's probably better to, sometimes you gotta look at this right here in order to see the locking hole on these Echoes. And once you get it locked into place, you don't want to grab this part. You want to kind of like hope and pray that you don't lose your screwdriver doing this. Righty tighty, lefty loosey with this, and it should come right off. Again, I had to pre-lube this thing to get the head off and take off your old Echo speed feed head. Now if you want to replace an Echo speed feed head, don't buy the universal kit if you already got an Echo. Just, you know, go and buy one and then replace it by doing what I just showed you in the opposite direction of counterclockwise. It'll screw back on. So if you want to replace it with an Echo speed feed head, you can do it that way as well. Your T25 head, you don't have to remove the adapter. These will fit pretty much every, the adapter that's already in it, when you pull it out of the box, will fit pretty much every Husqvarna, Echo, Hitachi, and I believe Tanaka. I've had one of these on my Tanakas and it'll fit flush. Now right here is the bracket, the sprocket right here. Make sure you don't, you know, when you put this back on, you don't put it on like this, or you never get your head back on. And make sure after you take that off, if you got like a lot of grass stuck in this head, because these things always collect a lot of grass, is remove some of the grass that is stuck around the gear head here, and then replace this back on the gear head. Make sure you find the locking area and then stick it right back in there again. I like using the smaller screwdriver for this because it works really well. And then take your T25 head, stick it back on your string trimmer. It should go on again. There it goes. Had a few technical issues, but yeah, just put it on there tight. That's how you put the T25 head on. And you want to take it off. You basically do the same thing again, like I said, and lock that little head in place. You find that divot and it'll come off the same way you take it off and put it on. So that's how you do it, guys. You put it in there like this, screw it on, and it's as easy as that. Okay guys, we're back. That is how you install them and uninstall them. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's been a little bit longer than I wanted to do it on how to install the rapid. You could even do this with the rapid replace head without having to remove the threaded adapter out of the rapid replace head to put on the Echo string trimmer. This is how you install an Echo Speed head 400 or even a T25 Husqvarna head with a rapid replace head. Will do the same thing without having to remove the adapters. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. This has been your old pal Hondo from Hillbilly Tactical. Peace out.